have no life. I'm on an org. I stream all day and have 20k earned. I could probably become a tier 1 pro.
One day, we gon' get it one day.
Yo, what is up, boys? It's Jayth. Welcome back to another episode of Road to Tier 1 Pro. Today marks the first episode of Chapter 3, where I'm going to be getting back into my normal videos where I run through tournaments, explain how I did in them, or how to prepare you guys for the tournaments that are coming up. In this video, we're going to be talking specifically about solos, because I know that the Solo Cash Cup is coming up in, I think, a week. And then besides that, I know there's a solo skin tournament that is coming up in a day or two. So I want to make sure you guys are prepared for that. We're going to first get into how to take mid-game fights and how I like to take mid-game fights to, have the best chance of winning them. And then in the end, we're going to be talking about the 2 or 3 types of ways you could play Endgame and like which one will favor you more. So to start off, obviously it's very like SMG oriented meta, right? So if you're not the one getting in a box, then chances are someone is going to get in on you. So the classic right now is if you see they have a shotgun, you run right at them and you take that aim battle if you're confident with your aim, especially if you're on controller, and their shotgun is not going to hit as hard as your sub will hit. With that being said, I usually like to run AR sub or AR double sub, especially if you have some good ones, but rarely will you ever see me build fighting people. I'll just box up, wait for them to get close and run at them with the sub, or just do some damage and then prevent them from healing. So you're going to see me abuse the sub during this fight. You can definitely leak bullets through builds. And then once you do that a couple times, they're going to continuously have to heal. And then you keep leaking bullets and you do that over and over again. So like right here, I'm going to hit him one time. And just that one bullet is going to be enough for him to heal. So I reload my sub. And when he goes to heal, I'm going to shoot him through another build. So now I've hit him for 30. So now he has to heal again. I'm going to reload. Shoot him through a build again. That's another 20 tag. So now he hasn't healed once yet. And I'm just going to keep doing this over and over until I get some significant damage. There's another 20. Reload. There's another 20 cracked and white. So now I know that I've done enough damage to where he's, below 80 health. And there's another 20 white tag. And then eventually it's time. Once you've done enough damage, you can just kind of run at him knowing you have the health advantage. And he's going to die instantly. So notice how I just continuously didn't let him heal there. And you can, position yourself well. I did the same thing in this fight. It's just constant pressure. If you look at my inventory, it's 2 subs and an AR. And I'm shooting him through builds. Now I know he's white in a way that was honestly kind of unfair. He didn't expect it. All of a sudden, he's low HP. He's going to pad away, but I'm going to follow him because there was a low pad. And once I figure out where he is, look at how much damage I'm able to get off through his builds. 20 right there. 20 right there. 20 cracked right there. I'm just going to keep the pressure on. 20 white right there. And now I realize I'm out of all ammo, so I'm going to reset. And he's going to heal, but, unless he has max splashes, he can't get full, even when he does. Now, unfortunately, I can't kill him right there because I need to reload, but I'm just not letting him heal. He's not doing anything. And then eventually, when you have the ammo, you just get in, like I do right here, and shoot him through his builds, because that is the meta that we are playing, unfortunately. Another thing is, I just wanted to add this clip. Like, these ARs are absolutely absurd. If you have the aim and you get a good beam like that, never stop shooting when they go to build, because you can actually leak some bullets through. And I leak some bullets through here too. The guy like misplaces one wall, and in that second, I'm able to kill him. He literally didn't build that wall for 1 second, and I'm able to kill him in that small of time. Now, off spawn, especially if people, want to edit on you, let them edit on you. I see this guy walking up and trying to do an edit, like a peanut butter, and I can just run through it with my sub. And if my aim is good, which it is, I know that I will confidently win that pretty much every time. That's how broken the subs are right now. Now, another aspect of fighting that you have to get used to is just like Call of Duty search and destroy type mentality, where you're just crouching around and playing like a controller player. I get an instant 60 damage to start the fight, and that means I'm willing to just get in on him. I know I have the health advantage. I'm getting in. And you'll see I'll do it here too. Like, there's no reason to, you know, not start the fight with a huge advantage. So I'm like just taking advantage of this guy's sound. He can't hear with this guy. I'm able to just sit here and I'm just waiting for the perfect opportunity. And once I get it, you know, I strike and that's it. So it's just instant. You're going to also see me do it here as well. I'm just gonna hide, and I think this guy actually knew I was here. But the whole point of this clip is once I get this damage off, you can't hesitate. Now I know that I have at least a 50 health advantage. I'm just gonna get in, and you just track him through the builds with that SMG, and the bullets will leak through. So now that we've talked about like mid-game fights, we got bullets, like not letting people heal, sneaking up on them to get early advantages, as well as running double SMG to keep the pressure on. Now that we've talked about that in mid-game fights, I want to talk about endgame. I think there's kind of like a big difference between a player who prioritizes the Spider-Man gloves and someone who doesn't. So if you're somebody that is not good at getting refreshes and getting impact kills to give you more mats, then you're definitely going to want to base your drop around the Spider-Man glove spawns, because you can do what I'm doing right here, and you just make one box, use the Spider-Man, and then you base up again. That's kind of this similar to like how the baller was. It's also similar to how like the shadow flop was in some sense. You basically just save builds, and you don't have to get that like serious impact frag until later on. So if you're someone who, you know, isn't the best at getting refreshes or doesn't really run the sub, I guess, and doesn't get in, the Spider-Man glove is definitely the way to go for you. And that's probably something I'm going to look for in the solo cash cup, just getting the spider webs. Now I saw this guy get cracked, so I'm just going to get in. That was pretty funny how fast he dies there. He doesn't have a chance to hold his wall. So another thing, if you don't run Spider-Man, you're definitely going to want to try to get a Lambo with wheels or any car with wheels, and you're going to want to keep that car for as long as you can. I'm not just talking like ditch it third moving. I'm talking like save that car till half zone, because that'll help you not get focused on your rotates and also save your pads. You basically, if you do have the Spider-Man gloves, you basically just want to hop around each zone when you can. So anytime you don't have to build, you don't want to build, and just save those mats for tarping later on. Now, another thing that I found is that if you are healthy during endgame, and you'll see me do this a lot in this specific endgame, you're going to want to aim duel instead of building, like especially when you have no mats on low ground, or not even no mats, but little mats. Like, you don't want to, it's so easy for other players who are low to just start shooting their SMG and run at you, and even though you have more health and you're building, they're gonna leak at least 100 damage through your wood walls. So it's better to just aim duel them and SMG them back. It's almost like the only way to fight the SMGs with, you know, your own SMG against them. Like, trying to build in those cramped situations is not going to do any good. Just pull out your gun and out aim them. So you're going to see me do that low ground a couple times here. This guy right here, I don't try to ramp him or anything. I just take out my sub, and I'm going to kill him. I'm also going to prioritize reloading my sub over like pretty much anything. I'm even going to sacrifice health for it in this clip. You'll see that in a second. But having, you know, your sub fully loaded, just basically in my head, that means like, okay, I'm ready to fight anyone head on right now. I'm confident that I'll win this aim duel. I see that I start to have 40 builds left.
Dude, that guy is literally fucking invisible.
Yeah, he was invisible. Now I'm 2 builds, so I'm gonna drop down. I crack that guy, go for the kill. I'm gonna reset this fight to reload my sub, and as soon as my sub's reloaded, I'm ready to fight again. Crack this guy. Now notice how I'm gonna go back and storm while this reloads to make sure I have full ammo. I get an easy edit down here. And when I see this guy behind me, I could build, but I already have my sub out and I know it's reloaded, so I'm just gonna turn on him and delete him, basically. Now this I don't really want to talk about. I choked this fight really, really badly. I didn't know that I had builds left here, but I think I played it really well if I would have known I had builds. I crack him. I could have just kept aiming with my AR, but I decided to go up. Block him out. Right here, if I would have ramped one more time and built walls, I gave him that perfect peek, which ended up making me lose the game, and I was super pissed. To wrap up this video, I just want to go over what we talked about. Fighting in mid games, we talked about keeping pressure on your enemy when you get a good start, making sure they can heal, abusing the sub and leaking bullets through their builds, and also playing stealthy at the start to give you an advantage off the start so you can keep that constant pressure. Rarely did you ever see me build fighting players or wasting mats. I pretty much just pinned them down and then continued to kick them while they were down until the fight was over. Also, if you're good with the sub, do not run the shotgun. That's another piece of advice I would give you. If you're an aggressive player who finds a lot of refreshes, you don't need the Spider-Man, but it's definitely good. But if you know that you're someone who isn't good at getting refreshes endgame, you should definitely prioritize getting the Spider-Man for these upcoming solo tournaments. Guys, that's it for today's video. I'm going to make another video on where I think some good solo drop spots will be for the first couple of cash cups. Let me know of anything you guys want to see down below in the comments, and make sure to leave a like and a sub. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.